So last week, we talked about one of the most misunderstood tools in health, structure and planning. And we learned that structure isn't about restriction, it's about repetition that frees you. And tonight, in part 2, we're going to have a further conversation. Because in this one, we talk about, well, how do you install the stuff we've been talking about? Because having it and knowing it isn't enough. And so we want to do a system upgrade, if you will, because inspiration is great, but installation is what changes lives. Hey, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. Welcome to our show tonight, to Dwain Woode MD Live. And the E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives, which says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We are breaking through boundaries. We're getting through obstacles. We are breaking away from those things that seem to shackle us. And we're presenting our best selves, our best health, and our best plans for our lives. So in tonight's episode, I'm coming back. We're pulling back the curtains on how we transform lives and how we get it to stick. If you're new to me, go ahead and put new in the comments because we'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that we are excited that you are here. If you have questions, go ahead and drop those questions in the comments because we want to make sure that we get to those as we answer those in the course of the show. So even when life is chaotic, right? We need to be able to do the things we need to do. And so we want to talk about the psychology of structure. We're going to talk about some of the levels of systems that help us maintain structure and how to build a weekly rhythm that reflects our future self and what we want to do. So let's go ahead and we're going to dive in. You know how we do. I've got my monitors off to the side that we'll take a look at. I've got my Keto Mojo and I've got my... oh, that's not what I got my Keto Mojo, and I've got my Contour, and you guys got to see my report there. And here is my Dexcom Clarity report that is right below me, and that is the average blood sugar there and the glucose management indicator, which we'll take a look at here in just a little while. Okay. If you've not been joining us, if you've not been on the trek with us, if you've not been moving through the space with us as we have walked through the Limitless Living Health Action Plan, you want to make sure that you are doing that because we've had a wonderful experience as we have continued to implement the action plan. Remember that the things that we're doing, all the things that we've been working on, all the goals that we've had, all the different tools that we've had, there is a component of those tools that's out there right now available to you so that you can utilize it as part of your training plan. In fact, right now we are on day 60, I think 61 of our strength, strategy, and mindset, which is our part of our MOVE campaign. Remember, metabolic optimization via exercise. So MOVE. We also did our 100-day walk to consistency. So you want to make sure that you are also working with that. So it's not just that we've done some things in the past and that we moved on. We are continuing to build on those. So we are part of our Balanced Bites, which we've been talking about. Also, we are doing our fasting. So everything that we've talked about, there is a component of that you can find that is available for you to be a part of. So make sure that you are joining and that you're becoming a part of what we're doing so that you can have the best possibility of success. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at blood sugars right now. We'll come back and say hello to our community members in a minute. But right now, see there, in just a minute, there it is. So blood sugar right about there. So that's my blood sugar. And you see right now my blood sugar is 90. Below that, if you look at our graph right about here, you'll see that the blood sugar has been running around 100, little above 100. peaked up there in the afternoon about 3 or 4 o'clock to a little bit, almost to 150, and then came back down. We'll take a look at my Dexcom report, and this gives us a 24-hour number, and you'll see right about there also there is my blood sugar right now, and then coming down you'll see there is my report. What I like about this is you can actually put your finger on the report and you can see what those blood sugars have been doing, and you'll see there we spiked up to about 150, and we'll go back and we'll take a look to see what's been going on over the last couple of days as we look at the actual report. Okay. And then here's that same number that we saw earlier today, and then down to where we are right now. So let's go ahead. Also, I'm going to take a look at my Keto Mojo and my Contour. And for this, let me grab a strip for the Lancets, a strip for the blood sugar, and a Lancet there. And then I need a Lancet for the Contour. So let's go ahead and grab that out, and let's see what those numbers are. Okay, so here is the strip for the Contour, and go ahead and open up here. There we go. And get the strip for the Keto Mojo. And while that's going, I'm going to grab my Lancet and find a finger, and let's see, let's do this one. Let's do this one right here. And ow, 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 ow. Okay, hopefully that gives me a good, yeah, there you go. That better had given me a good drop. Let's get that one started. Get this one started. And while that's going, let's go ahead and get my monitors back up, and you see 111 for the Keto Mojo, 116 for the Contour, sorry, 106 for the Contour, and then 126 for the Dexcom, which is right about there. And so within 10, 12 points of each other, you go ahead and get the Keto Mojo one out and get the strip going for the ketones. As you know, that one gives me both ketones and blood sugar. And here's a drop for that one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. And here we go. So what do you think my ketones are going to be? All right. So I haven't been fasting since we broke our fast on Friday. 0.2. Okay. So for ketones, remember ketones that are less than 0.5 considered normal. Right. So that's what I have right here. Less than 0.5. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. And so here, for those of you who are out there who may be using, well, two things. One, people who are on a ketogenic diet, you want your ketones to be at least 0.5 or higher. If you are fasting and you are looking for the fasting itself to generate ketones, then you want ketones to be above 0.5 or higher. Okay, so for all of those cases, and then of course, if you are not, if you're not eating a ketogenic diet, if you are not fasting for ketosis, then your ketones can be less than 0.5, which mine is. And we have community members right now who do eat a ketogenic diet, so they are maintaining ketosis lots of the time. Like we have one community member, I think every time he checks his ketones, it's above 1.5 because he is in the process of doing a ketogenic type diet. Okay, so we've got ketogenic diets, we've got fasting diet, we've got fasting mimicking diets. All of those are things that you will hear people talk about out there. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at my report, which is going to show me what's been going on over the last several days. And let's take a look here. And you'll see on the report, my average blood sugar right now for the last 2 weeks has been 121. We tell people that we want their blood sugars to be between 100 and 120. And so that's right in keeping with what we would expect blood sugars to be. Remember, blood sugars that are 70 to 99 is considered normal. 70 to 99 is what's considered normal. Over here, you see this is my glucose management indicator. So this is an estimate of what the A1C would be if I got an A1C based on the blood sugars that you're seeing there for the last 2 weeks. I'm in range 100% of the time. You'll see that right there. And then the range is 70 to 180. Now, a lot of people will ask me if the normal blood sugar is between 70 and 99, why do we put the range between 70 to 180? And the range is there because it is a safety FDA required issue, required number, right? So if you're on medication, the blood sugar, like if your blood sugar is 70, the medication doesn't know that your blood sugar is 70. So it continues to drive the blood sugar lower. So we said we wanted to be above 70. And then why 180? Because we had to pick a number. Honestly, we have to pick a number and say, okay, people need to be concerned when there are numbers between this and this. If this is above that, sorry. And so the upper limit is 180 is what you'll read in books. If you see the monitors, that's what it's set at. I usually tell patients 100 to 120 because if you're at 180, which is considered in the range, and for those of you who are using the monitors, if you're looking at those numbers, you'll see it in the green. And people think just because this number, right, because this graph is all green, they think everything is good. But you could be at 180 and still be considered in the green. But we don't want blood sugars of 180 because remember, normal blood sugar is 70 to 99. So any blood sugar above 99 is causing damage. Okay, so remember that. All right, so if I go now and I look at the 90-day average for my report, you see my average blood sugar 114 with a glucose management indicator of 6. So that means that over the last 2 weeks, my blood sugar has been higher than it was over the last 90 days. I'm in target 98% of the time, and my range is still the same between between 70 and 180. If I look at the actual numbers, let's take a look at this. And so some points that I want to make here. So right here, and if you're in our community, you saw our shout out video that we did yesterday. So yesterday was my son's birthday, and so we celebrated it yesterday and today. So he's in the office with me. And so what you see right here, this is birthday cake. Well, birthday food. Do you remember my blood sugars usually run down in the 80s to 130s, 140s, and so you'll see here today we had a spike right there. So that's birthday cake. And into yesterday, I usually do a 1 meal a day, which we didn't do yesterday because yesterday, well, actually this weekend I have to say, and so you'll see that we spiked higher than we normally would, 120, 140. I think 146. I think I saw 150 or something up there. Yes, there's 150 was the high. 154 is the highest it got, and then into Saturday, kind of 140s, 150s, 160s. So this is lunch, right here, and then going backwards into Saturday morning after we ended our fast, right here. So we ended the fast right about here, and you guys saw what I ate. And so we 115, 116, 117, 120, 130, up to the 150s, 140s, 150s, 120s. Okay? And so that was leading back into the fast from last week. Awesome. All right. And so now let's go ahead and let's hop over and say hello to some of our community members because I see some folks out there. So let me say hi to you always, and I didn't say whatever platform you are on that you're joining us from right now, I welcome you to the show, whether you are on Twitch, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. Right now, for those of you who are on Instagram, Instagram is having an issue with getting lives to them through the software. And so as soon as that gets fixed, we'll be back there. But for now, come on over here. So if you know some folks over there, tell them, come on. We'd love to have them over on this side until that issue is resolved. But welcome to everybody who is in our audience tonight to Dwain Woode, MD Live. Let's go ahead and say hello to some community members. And let's see, who do we have? I think I saw Julian was the first one that says, yeah, Julian says, hi, Doc and LLG. All right, LLG, so Limitless Living Gang. Teresa, she says, hey, doctor and everyone. Hi, Gian. Hey, Teresa, what's up? Glad that you are here. And then Steve says, current ketone is 2.1. So Steve has ketones that are actually in the therapeutic range, right? So we said 0.5, less than 0.5, considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. And then Steve is saying hello, hello to everyone. So I want to, oh, sorry, I thought I was showing all of those. Let's do that. Hold on a second. Let me get back over there. All right, so let's do this. Let's go back through those because I don't think you saw all of those. So Gian was saying hello. Teresa, hey Doc and everyone. Steve, ketones 2.1. And of course, Steven say hello. And Gian says, hi Teresa, hi Steve. And Gian said, great. Hey Steve, that was great. Okay. All right. So I do want to do one thing here really quickly. And so for those of you who are in our community, you know, one of the things that we love to do is we love to give props. We love to talk about the benefits that you guys are getting in your spaces. And what I want to do is I want to give a quick shout out to one of our community members who had an amazing result in her space. And so for Cornelia, thank you for sharing your story with us. If you're not in our community, join the community so you get to hear some of these stories. But a quick shout out to you. Great job in being part of the community, being an advocate in the community, being a support in the community, and of course, always being consistent in your health journey. So quick shout out to Cornelia. Just wanted to do that really quickly. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So let's go ahead and we're going to hop over now and get into our conversation for this evening. All right, so let's shift from inspiration to implementation. Because information alone doesn't change lives, structure does. What I'm talking about is wanting to walk through what is behind all the things that we've been talking about. If you've been with us as we've walked through each of the previous sections, we've talked about the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. And it is designed to be a blueprint. It is designed to be a set of guardrails. It is designed to be a checklist that says, if I follow, if I go through this process, if I walk through this, if I am good at implementing the things that I see, then what I'm going to show up with is a product that looks like what I want it to look like. For example, recently, if you've been following us, we're doing our strength, strategy, and mindset. So I'm outside and in the sunroom, I'm setting up, right, to be able to do the videos for that series. And so I ordered some things. I ordered a rack for the weight set. I ordered a bench, a workout bench, and some other things, some gym mats for the floor and so forth. And so everything comes in a box. And so now my job is to get the thing that's in the box, all the different components, all the different parts, to look like what the picture is. Now, being a typical guy, I usually will kind of look at the picture and say, okay, I know what it's gonna look like, and I start doing. This time I actually read the instructions. I know. And so what the blueprint said is if I follow this set of guidelines, if I follow the instructions. You know how they show you the blowout pictures and they said you got 10 of these hex screws and you got 5 of these here and you got this and you got that and you got this other thing, and it tells you how, in the blow up form, how to put it together. And if you follow that, then the product that you end up with looks like what the picture is. So it's designed, the Limitless Living Health Action Plan is designed to be a blueprint. It's also designed to be guardrails. Now, guardrails, like imagine the side of the road, right? When you're driving down the highway, the guardrails are there. Not that you bump into the guardrails, but if you happen to go off the road and hit a guardrail, it immediately alerts you that something is wrong. It's almost like those ridges that they put on the side of the road when you're driving, and if I don't know if you kind of drift off there, right? Immediately you know, okay, something's right. It's not right, and you come back on the road, right? So blueprint, guardrails, and also a checklist. You get on the airplane and you want your pilot to have gone through the checklist that says, if I go and I check all the systems, when I take off, my likelihood of getting where I want to go is going to be high. And that's what the Limitless Living Health Action Plan has been. It is all of those things encompassed and put together so that if you are doing that, then metabolism improves. And remember, metabolism has to do with not just diabetes, which is the one we talk about a lot. We talk about most because most people, right, that's the biggest one that we have along the metabolic spectrum. But anybody, diabetes, pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, fatty liver, and on and on and on, all of those fit in this space. If you follow the blueprint, if you go through and pay attention to the guardrails and the checklist, then you'll get to where you need to be. Okay? So if you've ever wondered, though, how do I stay consistent when life gets busy? How do I build a rhythm that doesn't fall apart when I'm tired? This is where strategy and planning comes in. So let's get into it. Let's get into the structure of what keeps us going. A structure that makes sense, that makes you go from trying some stuff to transformation so that it sticks. So first thing we want to do is we want to talk about system failure versus system flow. System failure versus system flow. So let me start with a truth that you may already know. You may already feel it, even if you haven't put words to it yet. Most people don't fail because they don't care. I'm going to just pause there to let that sink in. I was talking to someone in the office just recently, actually, and we were talking about someone in their circle that wasn't really listening to some of the things that they were saying. And the point that I was making was that people don't not do things because they just don't want to do things. People don't do things for lots of different reasons. One of the reasons could be that they're not there yet. In one of our episodes on my show, I was telling the story that a friend of mine and I were talking, and I was telling him in my journey, in my transformation, in the things that have happened to me over the course of years, I said to him that, there was something that I was going through my mind, some connections I was making. And I said to him, I don't know why this didn't occur to me a long time ago. And he made an interesting point. He said, you weren't ready yet to hear it. So sometimes it's that people aren't in the space yet. How many times have you had some new thing that you found, had some new product, some new store, some new whatever, a movie, for example, and you said to somebody or for somebody hey, you need to listen to this, or you need to try this, or you need to whatever, and they didn't do it until they were ready for it. And they come back to say, hey man, this movie, and you said, that's the same thing I told you last year. But they weren't ready. One of the other reasons that people don't succeed is not because they don't have willpower, and certainly not because they don't care. They fail because they're drowning in decision fatigue. Day after day, they're trying to survive a storm of choices. What do I eat? Should I walk? Do I have time to rest? All while they're managing work, family, finances, emotions, life. And every one of those decisions, in the absence of structure, takes energy. I want you to listen to me. All the decisions that you make, if there's not a structure there, it takes energy. Every time you make a decision, that's energy that's coming out. It's what happens when your health is running on manual mode. You're making every choice from scratch, over and over and over again. No guardrails, no blueprint, no checklist, no guide. Just you, willpower, and 1,000 micro decisions each day. And let's be honest, that is exhausting. And here's the truth. What if your plan didn't need to be perfect? What if the system that you put in place was already in motion? Like an operating system running in the background quietly without you having to do anything. It's kind of like on your phone, the smartphones, right? So you're using an app, like I'm using an app right now, but in the background there's a bunch of stuff going on. And it's guiding, that operating system is guiding your choices, is guiding your conversion for your energy, and is keeping you aligned. That's system flow. That's system flow. When your life is designed to support your health and is designed not to drain it. And here's the neuroscience behind that. This is how this works. Your brain was never designed to make 5,000 food decisions a day or 12 movement decisions a day or 6 sleep trade-offs a day. It thrives when there is clear, predictable, and automated processes going on. That's what structure does. It eliminates thousands of micro decisions so your brain can rest and your life can move forward. One of the things I was talking to someone today about is that, we're talking about sleeping. And how many times have you gotten to bed and you tried to go to sleep and you couldn't go to sleep because there's all this stuff going on? Or you go to sleep and then you wake up and you're up and what's going on? The mind is going. The brain is trying to remember all that stuff. But if I simply take a journal and I write this stuff down that I'm thinking about, guess what? The brain says, I don't have to go through this. I don't have to remember this because it's written down somewhere. And the brain can relax. It eliminates all of those. So picture this instead. No more asking, should I walk today? Because the answer was already built into your rhythm. No more wondering, what should I eat tonight? Because your plan already made the decision for you. No more guilt over a slip because your system has a built-in recovery mode. So no more guilt, no more doubt, no more wondering, no more wavering. Let me be clear. We're not here to build a calendar. We're not here to be rigid or robotic. We're here to engineer flow. Because structure is not just about productivity, it's about preserving your peace. It's the difference between barely holding it together and effortlessly moving in alignment. You weren't meant to muscle your way through your health every single day. You were meant to design a life that moves in the direction of your transformation. So if system flow is the goal, if we want to be able to be in that space. If what we want is a life where the structure supports automaticity and it supports us automatically, the question becomes, how do I build that kind of structure? How do you go from chaos to decision fatigue, or chaos and decision fatigue, to clarity, rhythm, peace? How do we move from just anything going to rhythm, alignment, and structure? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to show you another blueprint. And there are 3 levels to real life structure. And once you see these, you'll start to realize something powerful. Structure isn't just a calendar item. It's a system of protection. So let's go ahead, let's build it together. So the 3 levels of structure. Think of your structure that we're building, this health structure, kind of like a house. And every house has a foundation. It has a frame and a way to weather the storms. And your life is no different. So the first one we want to talk about is the anchor. Your daily identity, the habits that you do that are non-negotiable. This is the anchor. This is the firm foundation. This is the heartbeat of your routine. It's the action that you commit to regardless of your mood, of your schedule, or your motivation. This is the part of your day that says, no matter what happens, I do this. You already have some of these things in your life. For example, I can probably count on one hand the number of times, other than when you were sick, that you got up and you walked out of the house without brushing your teeth. Or I can count on one finger the number of times, other than when you were a kid, when you were a baby, probably, when you got up and you walked out of the house without getting dressed. Because those are non-negotiables. It's regardless of how I feel, regardless of my schedule. I could be as late as possible. I could feel as bad as possible. I could feel I can lack motivation, but guess what? I'm putting on some clothes before I go outside. No matter what. That's the anchor. And so what we need to do is we need to begin building those anchors. What are my anchors? What are my non-negotiables? What are those things that I'm doing regardless? For example, I leave the office early on Mondays because I do my show Monday night. When we first started, I would leave the office at my normal time and I'd come rushing home, hop in the seat, put on my headphones, turn on the computer, and always going. That didn't work. So a non-negotiable for me is that on Mondays, my calendar, my schedule ends at a particular time. It's built into my Monday. Nothing else happens after that time. It's non-negotiable. It is an anchor because I have decided that this is important. So what are some non-negotiables for you? Is it a 5-minute COPE mindset check for you? COP, clarify, observe, pause, execute. Is it a fasting stretch that I fast on Tuesdays to Wednesdays? Is it that I have a daily wind down period that starts a half an hour before my bedtime? So I'm not just going all the way to bed and then just jumping in the bed and then I can't sleep because my mind is still going. What is your non-negotiable? It's not about size. It's about identity. Your anchor says, I am someone who shows up for myself. And over time, the anchor rewires your brain to trust you. Right now, many of our brains don't trust us. Well, you always say you're going to do that, but it never happens. You always start that, but we don't finish it. Oh, she says she's going to do that, but yeah, we know it's not going to happen. And remember, the stories that we tell our brain, the mind is an amazing thing. It does not like to be wrong. So anything that you tell it, it will find a way to make that thing come true. So if you are unpredictable, if you say you can't, if you say that is not going to work, then the brain will try to find ways to make that not work. Come on, come on. Right? So that's number one. That is your anchor. Number two is your support system, your guardrails and your reminders. The anchor is powerful, but even anchors need protection. The second level is what shields your day and shields your daily habit from life's resistance. Because life is going to give up, it's not going to go down easy. These are the systems that reduce friction, remove excuses, and reinforce your flow. They allow you to do follow through. Example, laying out your workout clothes the night before. Because when you get up in the morning, life is going to pull you in a direction other than, hey, let's get ready to work out this afternoon. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get up, life is going to happen, you rush out the door and get to work, and then, oh, you were supposed to go to the gym after work, but you don't have your clothes, so you can't go. Preparing what you're going to eat after your fast. Because if you don't prepare what you're going to eat, life happens, you're going to grab whatever's available. And when you grab whatever's available, it begins to undo the benefit that you got during the fast. So what is your support system? What are those things that you've put in place that are there to help you keep you going? If the anchor is the heartbeat, then the support system is the rib cage. It keeps your rhythm safe even when life starts pressing in. When life says, hey, we're going to do something different. When life says, oh, come on, let's go. You can't do that right now. When life says something else is more important, it keeps the rhythm going. It keeps the alignment where it needs to be, because the alignment says, I am doing for this particular thing, for myself, for my health, for my finances, for my family. I'm doing the thing that I say I want. I'm behaving in a way that takes me in the direction of that thing. So what is your anchor? What is your support system? And then the third level of structure, you ready? Is what is your recovery system? What's your real world robust plan? What is your real world reboot plan? What is your real world, okay, we know that's going to happen. This is my backup. This is the most underrated and most essential layer of your system. Recovery. Because let's tell the truth. Life is going to throw curveballs. You're going to miss a day. The plan will get messy. And without a recovery system, guilt becomes a wrecking ball that just moves through and is breaking everything, because doubt comes in. Self-doubt is there. My guilt shows up. And then we throw our hands up. Hey, I've already messed up this week, so yeah, let's not do it this week. And if you don't do it this week, guess what? Next week becomes easier to not do it. So what is your recovery system? Do you have a 15-minute go-to body weight building routine for missed workouts? Oh man, I can't do my 30 minutes today, but I can do this. If you've been following us on our strength, strategy, and mindset, we had you create a 5-minute workout circuit. Are you implementing it? Is it working? Do you have one? You have a forgiveness mantra. Off track is not off course. I missed a day, but that doesn't mean I'm missing everything. Do you have a Sunday reset moment to review, reflect, realign? What do you have in place as a recovery system? A lot of times people don't recover because they've never planned to get off track. You are, did I say that? You are going to get off track. It's going to happen. I guarantee that it will happen. And without this layer, your plan isn't built for real life. It's built for fantasy. Where nothing ever goes wrong, everything always works out, calendar is always good, the sun is always shining, the birds are chirping, rainbows in the sky, and flower petals are falling out of or breezing by. And that is a fantasy. But you don't need a fantasy. You need a framework that bends without breaking. One that gives you grace and a way back. So here's the picture. You anchor yourself. And your anchor is what you return to on a daily basis. Your support system protects that anchor. And your recovery system ensures that you never have to start over. You just reset, realign, and you keep going. This is not a schedule. This is a structure. And when you layer it this way, you don't just build consistency, you build resilience. The ability that you have to be able to bend, to bounce off of something and come on back. When things don't quite go your way, that's okay because I'm resilient. I'm coming back. So how do we install the Limitless Living Health Action Plan? Okay, how do we do that? And there is, we've been walking through this process, and let's bring this concept down to from the clouds, and let's put it in the work that we've been doing in our real day life. We've talked about anchors, support systems, recovery layers. But now I want to see what it looks like inside the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. And let's take 3 of the core pillars: mental mastery, balanced bites, and strength training. And let's run them through all 3 of these layers, all 3 of these structures, and let's see what it looks like. This is how rhythm is built. Not with motivation, but with design. Notice what we're doing. We're not saying, and one of the conversations I have often in the office, I'll say to someone, what is your plan for X? For eating better? And they'll say, well, I'm just going to eat better. What is your plan for sleep? Well, I'm just going to go to sleep. What is your plan for exercise? Well, I just got to get out there and exercise. Now notice, those are good intentions. They're good desires. They may even be good beliefs or visions, but they are not plans. They are not structures. So mental mastery. Mental mastery. So what would be an anchor for mental mastery? Remember, mental mastery is the way that we adjust and change our perspective on the world, because our vision of what the world looks like affects how we interact with it. It affects our emotions and our feelings about it, which ultimately affects our behavior and our actions, which gives us our result. So the vision, the lenses through which we see the world, has to do with our mental mastery. So perhaps an anchor for mental mastery is a 5-minute COPE reset every morning. Remember, clarify, observe, pause, and execute. This is your inner check-in. You clarify your emotional state, you center your thoughts, and you set the tone before the day ever gets going. Do you have something in place where you get to do that? So that's your anchor. That's non-negotiable. I do this every day. I do this every morning. When I'm leaving the office, I stop and I do what's called a brain dump. And I have 5 prompt questions that I ask myself. What is still on my mind? Who am I thinking about? What decisions did I make today that I'm proud of? What decisions do I still have to make? And what am I going to set myself up for tomorrow? What is the thing I need to be working on for tomorrow? Non-negotiable. So what's the support system in this space? Well, we set a recurring 2:00 p.m. for a mindset reset. We use a gratitude journal every night. These gentle cues guard your focus. In my phone, there's an alarm that goes off twice a day. It says, are you willing at this time to do what it takes to be successful? It comes up, it pops up. It reminds me, it refocuses me. They don't just support my mindset, but they stabilize my entire day. Because there are times when things are going on and right, my brain and signals are coming and everything is talking. You walk into the office and the computers are down and this one is late and that was not right. All this stuff is going that I've got to decide about. And when that alarm goes off and it pops up, even if I'm in the middle of something and I hear it, I was like, oh, okay, that's my alarm. And the question is, am I willing at this moment to do what it takes to be successful? And it pulls me back into limitless living. What does limitless living look like right now? In the middle of what I'm going through. And then the recovery for mindset mastery is an end of week journaling. Or maybe it's a solo reflection walk to reset. When things get heavy or you lose momentum, this is how you catch yourself without spiraling. Just today, we worked with someone to say, hey, I need you to stop 2:00, 9 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to find a space where we can go in our minds. What's your recovery plan? Balanced bites is one of the other pillars of the health action plan. So what does that look like with anchor support system and recovery? Maybe an anchor is a daily protein-based lunch. I'm going to have protein every day at lunchtime. I'm not going to have protein at breakfast. I mean, you're going to have some as well, but my main protein is lunchtime. Non-negotiable. Simple, consistent, blood sugar friendly. One decision that eliminates dozens of food choices and battles every single day, every single week. I don't have to make that decision anymore. If you work 5 days, that's 5 less decisions for that week you've got to make. An anchor. What's the support system? Maybe a structured grocery list and a Sunday prep time using a template. This removes friction. You're not scrambling anymore. You're equipped. Oh man, I was supposed to start fasting here. Or man, I don't have anything for my protein lunch. Right? So decisions are gone because I've taken the time to prep and to get ready. And what would a recovery plan be here? Maybe I have 3 rescue meals that I can make in under 10 minutes. A rescue meal is a meal that is your go-to. Like my rescue meal for my fasting, my rescue meal for my last meal before I fast, my rescue meal for the first meal after I fast is a salad with a piece of meat on it. That's it. So if I'm rushing, I'm somewhere, I'm out, I'm in somebody's house, I'm in somebody's restaurant. Okay, I'm ending my fast. Okay, I'm not in my space. I'm out of sorts. I'm out of pocket. That's my rescue meal. I don't have to think about it. Give me a salad, give me a piece of chicken on top, I'm done. Because life will happen, and you don't need perfect, you need prepared. What's your recovery plan? And then for strength training, right? Part of our MOVE campaign, metabolic optimization via exercise. Maybe the anchor is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday movement commitment at 6:30 in the morning. I'm going to exercise Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30. It's non-negotiable. Hey, can you come meet me at that? No, I can't because I'm exercising Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hey, can we do this? No, we can't do it at that time because I'm exercising Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to happen. When we were doing our 100-day walk to consistency in health, my schedule was of such that my walking could not always be at the same time, but I knew I was walking every single day. It was a non-negotiable. We went to Paris and I walked. We went to London and I walked. You guys saw, if you go back and watch those videos, it was snowing and I walked. It was thundering and storming and I was out in the back on the elliptical, pretending to walk on the elliptical. Non-negotiable. What's your anchor? A support system in this case may be a workout calendar or preset dumbbells or a printed plan visible the night before. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing. It triggers me. It reduces friction, reduces resistance, lays out success before the day even starts. And maybe my recovery plan is a 15-minute full body workout flow for busy or low energy days. Okay, we had our folks say come up with a 5-minute circuit that they could do at any time, at the mall, while they're waiting for food to cook, while they're waiting for the shower to get hot, while they, whatever, 5 minutes. So that if I miss a 30-minute session, I can at least do that. And you're not starting over, you're adjusting forwards. This is how we build rhythm, not just with goals, but with systems. We're not chasing willpower. We're creating a framework that makes your health plan easier to follow and harder to ignore. This is the difference between a good week and a consistent life. This is how structure becomes identity. And this is how you begin to live limitlessly. So what is the identity connection? What's the identity connection? So let's talk about the glue that holds all of this together. The systems are essential. The anchors, the supports, the recovery plans, these are tools. But the fuel that powers all of this is identity. That's why this limitless living, when you see the logo, it says limitless living powered by the new you. Because structure without identity feels like punishment. Structure without identity feels like pressure. Structure without identity feels like something outside of you trying to control your life. But structure that's rooted in identity and rooted in the rhythm of your life, that's different. That's not pressure, that's power. It shifts you from I have to into this is just who I am. Let me explain it this way. If you're telling yourself, I'm trying to be healthy, you've already built in a loophole. You'll keep negotiating. You'll keep debating. You'll keep restarting. But when you start saying, I am someone who moves daily. I am someone who eats with intention. I am someone who protects my energy and my recovery. You've made a decision about your identity, and identity always wins. Let me show you what that sounds like. I don't skip my walk. I am a walker. You don't ask yourself if walking is going to happen today. You just are. It's who you have become. I don't say I don't guess my meals. I eat like someone who values their future. Food isn't random. It's aligned with my identity. It's who I am. Balanced bites is not a thing that we do every now and then. Balanced bite is who I am at my core. When I'm thinking about food, I'm thinking about my food based on balanced bites. Because I am someone who eats in a way that supports my health in the long term. I don't wrestle with the decisions. I plan like someone who's serious about this life. I'm not living on accident. I'm designing a life on purpose. So here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. Your identity sets your thermostat. You might get pulled away. You might get pulled off track. But if you've set your identity, you'll come right back to baseline. This is why structure works long term. This is why structure is better than motivation. This is why it is good when it's connected to who you believe you are. So let me ask you, who are you becoming? What version of you are you rehearsing for every day? Are you showing up as someone who is committed or just someone who's curious? Because structure without identity fades. But when your system aligns with your story, you become unstoppable. So now you've seen what real structure looks like. Not just a plan on paper, but a life rhythm. A rhythm that adapts, that supports, that protects your priorities. This isn't guesswork. This is design. You're not hoping for transformation anymore. You're engaging it. You're engineering it. You are creating it. And the truth is, this isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. Because life will be life. There will be curveballs, delays, stress, surprises. But when you've built the right anchors, support, and recovery plan, your system doesn't collapse. It catches you. It becomes the quiet strength beneath your momentum. And here's the real beauty. When your structure reflects your identity, when your system mirrors your intentions, that's when limitless living stops being a goal and becomes the new normal. So don't just build a plan. Build a rhythm that proves who you are and who you're becoming. Your health journey is not about intensity. It's about intentionality. Not about control, but alignment. And the more you live from that place, the more you realize structure doesn't limit you, it liberates you. The better you are at living a limitless life. We'll come back and we'll continue this process as we move into the space of becoming and growing into the people that we say we want to be. Limitless living is amazing in its ability to take us there. And the Limitless Living Health Action Plan is amazing. Keep watching. So what is the next step? So here's your next step. This week, I want you to choose one limitless living pillar, right? We've done 7. And I want you to build all 3 of the levels, your anchor, your support system, and your recovery plan, using that one. Whether it's walking, fasting, strength training, balance bites, mindset mastery, rest and recovery, pick one and build your anchor, your support system, and your recovery plan. Not sure where to start? Start with the pillar right here. Start with structure and planning. Use your calendar. Set some visual reminders. Design a rhythm that matches your future, not just your feelings. And if you want help implementing that across your entire life, that's exactly what we do here. Become a part of the community. We build these systems together step by step, not just theory, but transformation. You don't need willpower. You need a system that's built for real life. And that's what I want to help you create. Because here we educate, we empower, and we encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. That is the Triple E formula for success. We educate with the blogs, with the podcast, with the shows. It is a changing of our mindset, helping us to understand how the body works, how we integrate into the world. We empower with the tools that we work on, that you get, that help you to implement the stuff we learned. And we encourage with the community. If you want to go somewhere, you can go. But if you want to be successful long term and go and be consistent, get into community. Love it. Would love to help you create that process. We do that here. And it is an amazing, amazing process. All right, let's go ahead and let's say hello to some of our community members. I think I saw some folks come through. So let's get back. I think I heard some clicks going on. Let's see. Let's get back up here. Steve. Okay, let's go back. So I think we saw this. Steve said, I try to keep them up for my health benefits. Okay, yeah, Steve was talking about his ketones. I think they were 2.1. Gion said, what do you eat on a daily basis? Do you do a ketogenic? Cornelia said, hey, Dr. Woode, thank you for the shout out. Hi, Gion, Teresa, Steve, LLG. Agree, Gion. Steve is king in ketones. He is. He's always in ketosis. Gion says, hi, Cornelia. Cornelia says, your shout out picture really is amazing. Doctor popped up in the live. Yes. Hi, Gian. Cornelia said, thank you. Smiley face. Teresa says, hey, Cornelia and Steve. Steve says he does 1 meal a day. Today I had a couple of unsweetened Jell-O, half a cup of macadamians and walnut mix, 6 hot wings and sauce, and creme brulee my wife makes, which is delicious, by the way. It's very filling. We eat beef and chicken every day. All right. We are starting to get veggies from the garden, so we will be eating them. Steve, go ahead and send us a picture, man. Send us a picture of the creme brulee and send us a picture from your garden. Cornelia says, hey, Teresa. Gion says, wow, great, Steve. Steve, do you share your ketogenic diet? Oh, share your ketogenic diet sometime. Yeah, so once again, for anybody who's out there, what are some things that we want to see from you? We want to see if you have a garden. We want to see stuff you're getting out of your garden. We want to see what you're eating to start your fast during the week. The last meal. We want to see what you're eating to end the fast. So the first meal after a fast. If you have been working on your balance bites, right? Working on that concept, and you have a kind of a menu, if you have a particular dish that you do, we want to see that. Send us a picture. Send us a description of what it is. Okay, so all of those things, share it with the community because it really does help everyone. Ba, 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 ba. So Cornelia says, Steve, I'm inspired by your ketone routine. I'm going to work on extending mine after fasting this week. I can use the added benefit. Thanks for sharing. Awesome. See, look at that. Gian, yes, we do. It's basically the same food every day. A protein, a good fat, usually avocado. And then Steve said the creme brulee my wife makes is made from eggs, so it's full of protein. The jello I eat for my joints. And then Cornelia, I try to do 30 to 36 hours fast 1 day a week. Normally we eat lunch every day. Okay. And so Steve's talking about his eating plan. Okay. So remember the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. And let me hop over there really quickly and bring that up for those of you who see, where is it? Boom, here we go. Limitless Living Health Action Plan. Okay, so walking, fasting, strength training, balanced bites, and that's what everybody's talking about, the balanced bites. Rest and recovery, mental mastery, and of course, structure and planning is the pillar that we are just now completing. Okay. Let's see. Creme brulee. Okay, let's get back over there. I have maintained my weight for over a year. Yay, Steve. Cornelia said, I see your rhythm, alignment, and structure. Great job. Appreciate your strategies. Thank you, Cornelia, for putting that in there. Steve, thank you for sharing from Cornelia. It's a lifestyle habit for us. It helps to have a partner that lives the same lifestyle as I do. And I'm going to do a plug, Steve. I'm going to use that, right? So for those of you who are out there, you're living with someone who is, let me say it a little differently. Limitless Living says that you're not going to let anything inhibit you from doing what you need to do in terms of your health, okay? Because we are talking about the Triple E formula for success, we educate, we empower, we encourage. If you are living a limitless life, you can't do it by yourself. And what does that mean? It's not meaning that you can't do it by yourself in terms of getting benefit, but you should not simply take this, get the benefits, and hold it for yourself. You got to share it with other people. And it helps to have someone with you, like Steve is saying, where he and his wife are walking this path together. So if you're not in that space, you go find somebody and teach them limitless living. And now you've got somebody. Join the community here so that you can have people. It is not a one-person process. We need as many people walking this process as possible. I tell, and I've mentioned before that when I go to my doctor, one of the things we talk about is this concept of limitless living. Okay. All right. Teresa says, anyone knows when the community meetup is? I lost track. So the fourth Thursday of the month, Teresa, is when that happens. And so for this month, it's actually going to be actually the 26th. That's going to be this Thursday. Yeah, Jihan says this Thursday. Every fourth Thursday meetup. Yes. Okay, thank you. And that link will show up in the community area. So make sure that you get there. And then the link for after the show tonight will show up in the community area here in just a minute. Okay? All right. Man, I am always very excited to be in this space with all of you because I love the benefits that we're seeing. I love the successes that you're having. And more than that, I love the fact that you are taking charge of your life. And I want to pause there for a minute. Because that is no small feat. And I don't want you to let anybody convince you that because you've had some complications, I don't want you to let anybody convince you that because you've made some poor decisions in the past, that dictates everything that happens to you from now on. There are things that we've all done. There are decisions that we've all made that we now look back and say, man, that was not a decision I should have made. I've made some, not just for my health, for other things as well. But that's back there. I can't change that right now. But what I can do is right now I can make a decision that I, from now on, am going to do whatever it takes for me to be successful. And that's what limitless living says. That I am not allowing anything from outside or anything in me to prevent me from doing what I need to do. I'm showing up with my best self, my best health, and my best plans. I'm breaking through the obstacles. I'm pushing through the barriers. I'm breaking down those things that restrain me and constrict me. And I'm living my best life. So glad you're here. We will do our check-in. So tomorrow we'll start our fast right after my meeting. So join us about 1:15 to 1:30 tomorrow as we do that pop-up live. On Wednesday, we'll do our check-in as we normally do at 9 o'clock. On Thursday, we will have our check-in again as we move through the 72 hours. For those in the community, we have our community meetup at 7 o'clock. Is it 7 o'clock? Yes. 7 o'clock on Thursday. And then our check-in will be at 9 as we do our show. Friday, we'll have our check-in and our breaking of the fast. So if you think you have something you want me to try to end the fast, go ahead and send that in. Later this week, we'll have video from the vault Saturday night at 9 o'clock. And then This Week in Review, Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Central. And then next week, we'll be right back here for Dwain Woode, MD Live, as we continue down the path of doing what we need to do to be successful in our lives. So thank you for joining me. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. Live a limitless life, and we'll see you later on this week. Good night, everybody.